Yay! The control panel for the tankless water heater is working again. What ended up happening, according to my friend who works on RVs and who installed the water heater, he had looked at it and the power was on to the charger here, or to the controller here inside the house. Everything was fine. Thank goodness it didn't have to have a new battery. I'm so grateful for that. And then he went outside and he removed and then replaced the fuse that is inside the control area out in the water heater itself. And when he did, it flickered. When he came back in, he was able to turn it right on. Well, apparently there was a broken area on the, what you would call a gutter for the trailer, and the downspout area, so nothing was going down or going down the downspout. It was actually just going right down the side of the trailer, right over the window, which is right over the water heater, and somehow things were splattering inside, and so there was some moisture getting inside the water heater compartment, inside the water heater unit itself. So he had some supplies that he could use to get the downspout fixed on a gutter system, and it's toward the front of the trailer, which might explain some other little weird things that I had seen going on. So that's a good thing all the way around. Then he also used some materials that I had in my little shed, which I can see from here. See, yeah, there's my little shed. And so he also put just a little bit of an edge above the water heater unit, which will just allow it to divert water away from there. And so that is a very good thing. A step in the right direction. So right now, though, I started to talk about this with making this meal, which is kind of a unique meal. It's something that I created for myself. I heard of chicken paprika or Parmesan, whatever. Anyway, nonetheless, that when I saw the recipe, I'm like, well, I'm not a fan of Parmesan and cheese and so on. So I came up with my own recipe. And I've been doing this for years. And my daughter absolutely loves it. And I know she makes it sometimes. And so I put the mix in here, and it kind of can tell you. This way I can just shake it over, and so I don't use too much. But there is some paprika. There's some turmeric. And ground ginger. There's a poultry mix. Some extra sage. Meat tenderizer, which goes on first, and allow that to go on. I don't use meat tenderizer with salt. I do use a seasoned tenderizer, but it doesn't have salt in it. So I am very cautious now in order to be able to use salt. I use only Redmond's real salt, and so I add a little bit of this on top of it. And that actually, it comes out really, really well. I'm going to pause this as I do start it from frozen, but I do it very, very low so that it gets cooked all the way through. I have 3, they're somewhat flat pieces, and then I've got one thicker one, which will take a little bit more time. But I was going to try to make some chicken, oh gosh, what is that called? Cacciatore, which is something that my daughter had given me a recipe for. She got it from someone else. But I thought, I'm going to start with this. And then I'm going to stir fry some bell peppers and onions. And stir fry it inside this mix. And so I start out with a little bit of butter and some extra virgin olive oil. I know that may not necessarily be the healthiest, but I really love the flavor of the butter. It adds just a different type of flavor and allows it to get a little bit crispy, so that I call it a spice coated fried chicken. It's not really fried, but it is. I mean, it's not deep fried, like not in a real heavy saturated oil. Hold on for just a moment. Let me get these unpackaged and coated real quick. This is the first one I'm coating, and I just wanted to make sure to say that I am doing this. Usually I season it on the flat side first, so that can lay down inside the skillet fat, and then that side gets coated first. A little bit of the meat tenderizer. Somehow it just seems to make it come out better. For some reason it doesn't want to come out. And one of the things that's not here that I do use as well, this is not coming out like it usually does. And I'm also trying to be careful about not getting too much. And then I gotta come over here and get my parsley. Get that opened up. And I do like to put some parsley on there. I actually am pretty generous with the parsley. It adds a really unique flavor. That's one, and that's what I'm going to do with the rest of them. I can't hold this and do it at the same time, so I'm just going to go ahead and do them and get the first ones in. Well, after putting these in, only those three are going to go in there, and that's going to be fine. I'm going to take this one and wrap it and just give it a little extra wrapping around it. Usually what I do is I take the saran wrap, or the plastic wrap, whatever, and since I put the food on it and I sprinkle the seasonings on it, it helps to have less mess on my counter to clean up. I think this very last one I'm going to go ahead and use it. Once I'm done, I just take the plastic wrap and hold it over the skillet. So you can see there's a teeny tiny bit on there already. And so now I need to get these coated on the other side. Yeah, after thinking about it, I realized, that had chicken on it. And so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to put a fresh wrap around this and get it tightened up, put it back in the freezer and use it another day. There it is in place. I started out with 10 pieces of chicken in my inventory, and today I took out 3. Now I have 7 pieces left, and I wanted to cover that. I thought that was important because that's part of my saving on groceries and expenses, and I also want to eat healthy. So this is actually really healthy. Hold on. When I had initially wrapped up the package, I only had this one little small piece. I thought, well, I could put that in there. That can be a little bite. That can be the one that's, that taster one that I do. Taste it, make sure it's right. So there it is. These will cook they're on very, very low heat. Let me see if I can carefully get a picture of that. So it's very low heat, and it's from frozen, so I want it to cook very slow. And that will cook probably a half hour on one side and then a half hour on the other side. Again, I like to make sure that it's got a little bit of brown on it when it's cooked. And interestingly, in all of my spices that I have here, there are some that I have duplicates. I'm very happy I have duplicates of parsley, because I emptied that one and had to use a little bit of this one. So that'll be ready for refill later, the next time. But anyway, I will film more about what I do with this. I have some thoughts. I have the frozen 3 pepper and onion. That's 3 bell peppers and onion that I had frozen. They're thawing right now, and that's going to be part of it. I'm trying not to let anything go to waste. So the plastic that was on that little bite that I had just shown, I went ahead and spread it out. It didn't have much chicken on it, so I'm not worried about it. But I did put some paper towel over it. And then the tongs that I need, I put over here. I might need the spatula. This spatula stays with the skillet because it's a non-stick skillet and I don't want to damage it. And so, of course, this is plastic. And so it'll be much better for it when I do other cooking. Just thought that that was an interesting thing to do to help keep my counter from being messy, and utilizing that plastic so it's not just a one-time use, reuse. Do as much of that as possible. Oh, as I went to do my coffee and clean it out and get that ready for tomorrow morning, I forgot that I had rewrapped this and I had set it on the side. I just found a good thing. That means I have 8 pieces of chicken left. So I'm going to be able to make a few good meals out of that.